Hi all, and welcome to another devlog. And this time, it's some sort of follow-up on another video.
Sophia, I want your opinion. Should I use trained voices all the time? Or should I start with those for blocking out a scene and see if the text somehow works or not?
Don't look at me. I always look great, and sound great too.
Okay, clear. Can't argue with that. Okay, how to do voice acting? I simply have no clue.
It's easy. Just hold still and watch the entire video.
In my last video about recreating a famous LucasArts game, The Fate of Atlantis, with the help of some generative AI, I got this question very often. How did you do the voices? They sound exactly as in the game from yesteryear. Voice acting or impersonating used to be the domain of humans, and out of those, only a select few. While convincing acting is still hard for large language models, it is getting close nowadays. Luckily, putting in some soul into an acting performance is still the domain of humans. Oscars are not won by AI models. This also holds true for people that impersonate somebody. You need a good act and surprising delivery. Nowadays, the somewhat older generation likes to watch shows that have impersonators. A good example is the Graham Norton show. We seem to love that famous people impersonate other famous people too. And yeah, some are quite good and also former colleagues. Let's watch Mark Hamill.
Hey kid, it ain't that kind of movie. If people are looking at your hair, we're all in big trouble.
Mark Hamill started voice acting quite early in his career in several top-notch games, while this was still considered a foolish career choice. For the best delivery of Sean Connery, the legendary British actor Chris Berry comes to mind. His witty delivery cracks me up every time.
Well, actually, Kenny, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. What I would say at this stage, though, is I'm not going to say much because of my worsening speech impediment. And it might be slightly difficult to understand me.
But in person, he is best known for portraying Arnold J. Rimmer in the long-running Red Dwarf series.
Well, I can't say I'm totally shocked. You'll bonk anything, won't you, Lister?
If you were in the audience during the recording, you probably died of laughter. In one of my Pixel parodies, I tried to impersonate him a couple of times. He is hard to nail down. Okay, these are settled and need to be practiced. Luckily, there is a guy that can impersonate at least 100 famous persons and has a method for that.
Spork. Combination spoon and fork.
I will put a link to Jim's video in the links below. And while you're at it, hit like and subscribe on this video. And on Jim's videos too. They are a great laugh.
Ah, baboon and baboon head together. Marvelous.
It is quite lousy actually, but the marvelous bit is a good word to practice on.
Where did Leatherhead go?
I think he's gone.
Well, forget I asked. This is good news. No use smacking bosses, here I am.
And just as Mark Hamill, he was quite involved in lending his voice to a particular game. That game is Simon the Sorcerer. This came out in 1993. Was the 90s the golden age? Probably because of the Amiga. This came out in 1993. Was the 90s the golden age? Probably because of the Amiga.
Oh, great. I'm stuck here in this stinking world in these stinking clothes and not a pizza bar in sight. Lucky this is just a dream or I'd be really worried.
Germans, Nazis, Gestapo. Can you think of any TV series that did a better job ridiculing them with a funny German English accent? Well, the all-British cast of Allo Allo does a better job than Germans themselves.
Hans, you ignorant peasant. This is probably the first cuckoo clock ever made. Absolutely priceless. And this is the Fallen Madonna by Van Klomp.
Or Chris Berry again. It is very well done.
High on Parnassus, in the center of the Greek mainland, is the home of one of the most unusual creatures of the animal kingdom, the doner kebab.
Even more speech impediments can be found in the movie series, The Trip. Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon are having continuous impersonating battles during dinner. Hilarious and good source material.
I'll have a vodka martini, shaken not stirred.
You look like you're recovering from a stroke and learning how to get mobility again.
I'd like a vodka martini, shaken but not stirred.
I can feel my legs. It's a miracle.
I promised I show the way how I train my impersonations. When a new character is added, I add it first to the lip sync demo app. This simple app has a few good lines stored on disk. In that way, I can test the sprite sheet animation and also see if the speech fits the character. And the most important thing of all, I can get into character again and be consistent with the last lines I spoke.
We had chose to go to the moon and do the other thing.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, you know.
In my opinion, the Dutch team should have won the World Cup finals.
What you are about to hear is actually strictly forbidden to watch.
So how to quickly test your best English Germanic accent voice acting.
Always, I mean always, have your notebook ready to write something down.
Okay, good first try. Now slap it on a character.
Always, I mean always, have your notebook ready to write something down.
Okay, now I can't wait to see it in a room or scene.
Always, I mean always, have your notebook ready to write something down. Hans, could you give me your Kugelschreiber? Mine has just stopped working. All right. K2X4B. That is probably a strange, unlisted experimental U-boat.
It is still missing something.
Always, I mean always, have your notebook ready to write something down. Hans, could you give me your Kugelschreiber? Mine has just stopped working. All right. K2X4B. That is probably a strange, unlisted experimental U-boat.
It needs more work, especially on the bobbing head animation, but it is a start. And it is beginning to materialize.
AI? You promised AI. Where's the AI?
That means training a voice in 11 Labs, or in another text-to-speech solution. I tried several, and I feel 11 Labs offers the best experience. This voice needs WAV files with spoken text. 10 WAV files with high quality would surely be enough. But as you have seen, I only have 3 files. Will it be enough?
We blew up the Gestapo car. We blew up the Gestapo car. We blew up the Gestapo car.
It definitely needs more work. Also, there was one sentence with a German word in it. That should be removed. After training much of the voices for a long time, I also noticed that there is always a drop in pitch. We blew up the Gestapo car.
Well, that already sounds better and better. One last thing a lot of people get wrong is the recording quality of their microphone. Even good microphones pick up a lot of noise if not configured correctly. Also, your spoken sound bounce back via the walls, especially smooth walls. And that means your voice does not sound crisp when you recorded something. It is quite maddening. It is wise to either record in a small enclosed area covered with 3 layers of towels or a big cloth draped over the reflective walls. It is also possible to use foam dampeners on the walls. Those seem to help quite a bit. And there is also the possibility to buy a carryable recording studio that you can take with you. By placing the microphone in the center, the bouncing will be less of a problem. But I had mixed results with all of these options actually. The best results were actually optimal, in a large living room and doing tweaks on the microphone settings. And I gained a lot more freedom to move around and do other stuff in between than recording. So for the Blue Yeti microphone, I found the optimal configuration for voice recording. The gain should be as low as possible. The input level should be around 95% on the sound settings in your OS. Also, the pattern should be the butt-shaped icon. It represents that the sound around the microphone should be picked up and nothing else. That pattern focuses on your voice as much as possible. Also, I have a pop cap installed. Really important if you want to prevent your spit and extraneous air to spoil your recording. So is all lost if I don't manage to get good sound? No, there is software that can fix your audio of any quality. Stellar results can be expected with Adobe Podcast. I tested it myself and I can recommend it highly. So, that wraps it up for now. Please hit the like and subscribe, as it helps me stay motivated to make these nice videos. And join me again when I release a new devlog.